So what some ways to get better? You said one. Talk a little more about that. Like falling, having to like die to pride.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it plays into what you just mentioned too. You know, I've had clients that have experienced like church hurt or things have happened in their jobs, but you know, I think about the leadership component and even just us as people. There's a level of accepting, you know, what you have and what you're going to have. You know, that needs to happen. You know, so maybe you don't have the biggest and the most, and am I able to accept that?
Hmm.
But and I think a lot of that comes back to dying to yourself, dying to pride, you
Hmm.
know, like having pride fall. um I think pride is dangerous, just like shame. I
Hmm.
think it can hurt people. I think it can hurt yourself. And I just think it's one of those things where we have to, in order to die to pride, we have to accept a place of being vulnerable, right? And
Yeah.
so, how do I sit in a place of vulnerability so that I can be my authentic self, but I can also be authentic to other people and really build these truthful, real relationships where people actually see me and I see them, right?
Right.
Like I show
Yeah.
up as myself.
Hmm.
People know me, right?
Yep. Yeah. And so I'm gonna kind of combine my, two ways to get better into one. To piggyback on that
Yeah.
vulnerability piece, all of this comes back to this representing an aspect of love, right?
Mm.
I have to love people and myself enough to want to
Yeah.
commit to a life of being radically honest. And so
That's good.
having this radical, first practicing it with yourself, like, can you even look in the mirror and be completely honest with yourself, like before you even step out into the world and start to give it to other people? Do you do it with yourself? Do you sit and say, tell yourself the good, the bad, the ugly, accept the good, the bad, and the ugly parts about yourself? Because it's that ugly is where the shame is. So like, can I accept
Yep.
that? And like, if I really love you, me, internally, am I gonna lie to
Yep.
myself? Like, am I going to do that? Because to me, that's like I'm an enemy to myself or you by loving you, and like being willing to be alone sometimes. Because if I love you enough to be honest with you, that doesn't mean you're gonna like me and you're gonna want to be
Right.
around me or be with me for that matter. And so just practicing this radical honesty with yourself and seeing it as a component of this is an expression of love. I love you enough to be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you. And
Mm-hmm.
so being able to develop this improvement or growing in honesty looks like doing that work.
Yeah. That's good. Am
Anything
I
else?
allowed to be honest? Are others allowed to be honest with me? I
Hmm.
think it goes back to that question you had on the other episode.
Hmm.
Like, is this allowed?
Right.
And am I allowing myself to be honest? Am I, and I think redefining your version of love, because some people define love in a way that's very unhealthy,
Right.
right? Which causes me to be an enabler, right?
We
And
did an
so
episode on that. We got to come back. They got to go back and listen
we
to
do,
the
we
love
do,
episodes, right?
yeah.
Because
No,
we talked all about love on that and
yeah,
what it really means. So, but
yeah,
yeah, so I think, just getting better at being honest, starting small steps, baby steps, like developing a practice, making that be your default character, and your default setting is to be a person who's known and represents honesty, where people, when they think about you, they think that. They don't think, oh, this person is a
yeah,
liar. They always telling, exaggerating or always doing this or that. Like, you want people to speak about you in a way that reflects something that you not only want to have for yourself, but receive from others. So we want to
yeah.
make sure we
And so,
continue to get better at
yeah,
being honest, right?
being honest,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just tell the truth, please.
just yeah. And man, and you can practice with safe people, and you can practice in small, you know, with your kids, with
Hmm.
your mama, with or it's people that are going to be safe,
Hmm.
you know, because that's how we build our tolerance for it, you
Right.
know, our ability for it. So yeah,
Okay.
Let's keep getting better so we
Yeah.
can do better.
Yes, we got to keep getting better at being honest. All right. So, as always, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the I Get Better podcast. We will continue to bring you topics that are uplifting, encouraging, edifying, and teaching you ways to get better as we work on continuing to get better ourselves.
100%.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.